little bit of different music this morning. Felt chilled out today. Did you guys hear last night that baseball is going to be kicking up Monday, April 13th now? Crazy news. Who would have thought? I thought Florida would have kept them out of that for a while, but turns out April 13th, baseball. We're back at it again. America strong. Today, Wednesday, April 1st. There's no baseball starting up. That was an April Fool's joke. It was a really bad one. Sorry for you baseball fans. But that's definitely not going to happen. So hopefully you didn't get your hopes up on that one. Okay. Now, one thing I want to talk about before we get to the news. I don't have cable. I just have like Netflix and Prime and YouTube and things I want to go search for on my own. So I don't usually get inundated with like tons of news, which I think is a good thing. I think at the end of the day, that just keeps me from worrying about too many things or overthinking things. But I want you to pay attention to the national news, not like local news like, WTHR or Wish here in Indianapolis. But I want you to pay attention to how they're spinning stories. Okay? Think a little bit. They say social distancing. Well, we're still very social. We're just physically limited where we can go. Remember, 15 feet for the lizard people, but you can still say hi to them. You can wave to your neighbor. You can help them out. Okay? You can love on people without giving them a hug all the time. But I think they want to separate us. I think this is an event playing out to where it's just going to be like awkward when we go back to like normal life. Like, oh, you could have a disease. I don't know. Also, yesterday, turned on the news for the first time. And they were comparing the number of deaths from COVID-19 to 9/11. To there being more deaths from COVID-19 than September 11th, the terrorist attack. Now, I'm just a thinking person. Does that mean that this didn't happen from somebody eating a bat? I don't know. I figured you'd compare it to another disease or another illness or another virus, but definitely not to a terrorist attack. I was 18 when that happened. I remember it vividly. I think they're two different events, but I think it's a way to shape people's minds. Don't trust the narrative. Think for yourself. Love your neighbor, okay? People are going through a lot right now. But don't just fall for every story that they throw at you. Remember, it's the news, but it's still a show that gets ratings. And if you watch enough news channels, they all have their own spin on things. Be a free-thinking person. I think that's the most dangerous thing in a time in which we live, is to be able to think clearly and freely and have your own opinions. And don't let other people make your opinions for you. So love your neighbor, help your neighbor, reach out to people, call people, encourage people. There's a lot of people that are down. There's people like me that are trying to make the most of the situation. Encourage each other, be there for each other. All right, I'm gonna hop off my soapbox now. In for the sports segment of today is somebody I subscribe to on YouTube. His name is Zach Anner. He has cerebral palsy and he does workout videos and they're amazing. So today, Zach Anner is going to bring us a video called Pull-Ups and Pick-Me-Ups. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Zach Anner. Welcome to Workout Wednesday, the workout show that teaches you how to have the body you want. As long as that body is of a 30-year-old guy with cerebral palsy in a wheelchair. I know it is. Today, we're going to be going back to where it all started. I'm going to be doing pull-ups and giving you compliments because you've done a lot of great stuff in the past 2 years. I just need to tell you about it. Here's what you need. Workout headband, workout shirt, workout shorts, workout socks. Oops, fuck it. And a willingness to love yourself and everything around you at all times. Also known as pull-up bar. Let's do this. The first thing you gotta do is raise up your wheelchair because you can't really reach. Oh, yes, you can. Maybe you don't have to. Your smile is like a sorbet for my eyes. Not literally, because that would be sticky and irritating. But you've got a nice smile, is what I'm saying. Don't listen to the naysayers. I thought your sweater shorts were a great idea. Finally, a way to keep warm in the summer. Damn, I can only do 2 of them. I gotta do this more than once every 5 months. You're such an interesting person, I want to spend my life following you around until you die. Thanks for always offering me a stick of gum when you have it, and never asking me for one when I do. That way, I get all the gum. You look so great that sometimes I have to Photoshop you to make you look less attractive. I'm serious, I have a bunch of photos of you as Emperor Palpatine electrocuting children, and you still look good. You make me want to jump for joy, or sit in a wheelchair for joy, whatever's more convenient at the time. So that's it for Workout Wednesday this week. Remember to subscribe, and remember to properly secure your pork bar, because it's not safe unless you have Chris holding it up. Bye.
In this next segment, it's going to be the topic of the day. We have what I like to call Baking with Brittany. God, I love alliteration. Anyway, Brittany's going to be taking us through how to make a cake. Not just any cake. It's a cake with a decent amount of protein in it. Brittany, take it away.
Hi everyone, this is Brittany from Wild Honey Baking Company. Today I am going to walk through how to make a lemon blueberry protein coffee cake. Alright, so the recipe is below. I'm going to kind of just show you how to assemble the cake, give you some tips and tricks along the way. The first one is that I'm going to make a 3-layer cake out of 3 individual 6-inch cakes. You could make the traditional coffee cake with an 8x11 pan, but yeah, we are going to do a layered cake today. So we're going to get started. The really cool thing about this, especially for you Brocky fans, is that this has over 20 grams of protein in the whole cake. So that is pretty sweet. Don't worry, washed my hands, we're good. So first I'm going to just pipe on the icing. I put a little bit of icing on a plate down here to hold it in place. And I'm just going to make simple piping around the whole cake. Now, if you don't have a piping bag at home and a piping tip like this, no problem. You can just use a Ziploc bag, probably a gallon Ziploc bag, and just cut off one of the corners, and that'll create a similar piping thing or do. All right. Also, when you are following along the instructions and you come across a weird thing like a pastry blender for the streusel, if you don't have that, that's this little guy, no problem. You can use this really fancy thing called a fork to blend. You're gonna cut your butter in with that and make your streusel crumb topping. All right, so we're gonna go with our second layer. Just set it right on top. Also, when you're making your buttercream and you get to the part where you are zesting, if you don't have a zester, this fancy little guy, you could just use your cheese grater. If you don't have either of those, or you don't want to add any zest, you will still get some of your lemon flavor in your icing because of the lemon juice, but you can bring out that lemon flavor by just adding some lemon juice to your cakes. So what I usually do is I brush some lemon juice between each layer before I ice it, and that really makes it lemony and delicious. So even if you just love lemon and you want more lemon flavor, you could do that too. All right, so our last layer is this guy. Okay, simple as that. If you want to make it a little fancier, then you can add something like some lemon slices to the top, blueberries, greenery, whatever you'd like. But there's our cake. Thanks for joining us. Stay well.
Moving on to the market segment. Market was down yesterday, so guess what I get to do today? You guessed it. I get to buy those candy cigarettes. Now, forecast for today, I don't know, but I'm gonna bet down. I don't know, seems like it's gonna be an interesting day in the markets, but I'm gonna say down. So I'm gonna take this $20. I'm gonna bet down. I'm gonna stick with that decision. Up next for the weather, we've got here in Brownsburg, Indiana. Looks like it's going to be a mild day overall. Let's check out that hourly forecast though. Well, right now it's high 30s, cloudy. It's going to be cloudy at sunrise. It's going to be in the mid 40s. About 2 p.m. it breaks to where we get some sunshine. Going to be getting about 50, 51, about 4 or 5 o'clock. And it's going to go back down to the low 40s tonight, but clear. So maybe this evening, if you can get some sunshine after about 2 p.m., looks like it's going to break away. Good stuff. Good things overall. Well, it's been real. It's been fun. Remember, subscribe to the channel. Smash the heck out of that like button. And if you need anything from me or any recommendations on the show, just leave it in the comment section. Until next time,